Dear child, the room has gone quiet, but your mind has not. You have been carrying conversations that never really ended, moments you keep replaying, and a tiredness that sleep alone has not touched. Dear heart, you have been trying to hold yourself together with very little left in your hands. You have wondered how long a person can keep going when so much feels uncertain. You have thought, maybe I am asking for too much. Maybe I should be stronger than this. Maybe no one really understands how heavy this has become. Precious one, what aches in you tonight is not weakness. It is the strain of being strong for too long without enough softness around you. It is the soreness that comes when you keep showing up with a heart already bruised. My child, come closer in this moment. Not with perfect words, not with polished faith, just as you are. I do not need your carefully managed voice. I do not need your brave face. I do not need the version of you that knows how to sound fine. Beloved, I am speaking to the part of you that is worn thin, the part that has gone quiet because it no longer knows what to ask for. Stay here with me a little. This is for you, not for the people who expect you to keep performing, not for the ones who only notice you when you are useful, not for the noise that keeps demanding an answer tonight. Loved one, this is for the tender place inside you that has been overlooked even by you. This is for the place that has felt forgotten while you kept tending to everyone else's fires. This is for the ache behind your smile, for the long sigh you keep swallowing, for the question you have been afraid to say aloud. Will anything ever feel steady again? Sweet soul, hear me gently. Steadiness does not begin when everything around you finally behaves. It begins when you stop running from your own need to be held. You have been trying to think your way out of weariness, trying to solve what really needs tenderness, trying to outwork what really needs rest. My dear one, you do not have to earn a place near me. You do not have to explain why your heart feels frayed. You do not have to justify why small things now feel big. You do not have to apologize for needing comfort. I know the nights when your chest feels tight for reasons you cannot fully name. I know the mornings when getting out of bed already feels like a negotiation. I know the dull numbness that follows disappointment when you are too tired to cry but too full to feel light. Beloved, I know how quickly one hard season can make you question your value, your direction, your hope. Pain has a way of talking loudly. It makes temporary things sound permanent. It makes one closed door feel like the whole house has gone dark. But listen to me, dear heart, with the gentleness you have been withholding from yourself. This moment is real, but it is not all there is. Your exhaustion is real, but it is not your identity. Your confusion is real, but it is not your final home. Loved one, you are not failing because you need a pause. You are not behind because your soul cannot thrive at the speed that wounded you. You are not less faithful because you feel shaky. You are human, and you have been through much. There are places inside you still trying to recover from being dismissed, from being misunderstood, from carrying too much alone. My child, I am not impatient with your process. I do not stand over you with crossed arms, measuring how quickly you recover. I sit near the ache. I remain close to what is sore. I stay present where you feel most fragile. Think of a small candle burning in a quiet room. It does not shout to prove the light is real. It simply stays, and little by little the darkness loses its authority. Precious one, that is how my care often reaches you. Not always as a sudden answer, not always as an instant change. Sometimes as a steady nearness that keeps you from disappearing inside your own sorrow. You have wanted a map for every step ahead. You have wanted to know how this works out, when the pressure lifts, when the waiting ends. Those longings are understandable, dear one. You have been stretched, and uncertainty can feel like one more burden on an already weary back. But stay with me here in the part you do have. This hour, this breath of time, this little piece of now. Do not be ashamed if all you can manage is the next small moment. A life is not only built through grand victories, Sometimes it is rebuilt through quiet staying, through choosing not to abandon yourself, through choosing not to believe every cruel thought that passes through your mind, through choosing to remain near what is steady when your emotions are not. Beloved, some of your deepest healing will not come from pushing harder. It will come from no longer treating yourself like a machine that must keep producing to deserve peace. It will come from learning that your worth does not rise and fall with the day outcome. It will come from discovering that tenderness is not weakness. It is often the strongest thing left standing after a hard season. Dear heart, you have mistaken survival for failure. You looked at your slower pace and called it weakness, when in truth it was wisdom trying to protect you. You looked at your sensitivity and called it a flaw, when it was evidence that your heart had not become stone. You looked at your need and called it inconvenience, when it was a doorway inviting you back into honest closeness. My dear one, I am not asking you to carry tomorrow tonight. Lay down the need to solve everything before you are allowed to soften. You have spent enough time standing guard over a heart that longs to rest. Loved one, there are things being untangled that you cannot yet see. Not every quiet season is empty. Not every pause means you are forgotten. Not every delay is denial. Some things grow best beneath the surface before they ever show their first green sign. A seed does not look powerful while hidden in the soil. It looks buried. And yet in that unseen place life is gathering itself. Strength is taking shape. What seemed like an ending is becoming a beginning too small for hurried eyes to notice. Precious one, there is life forming in places you thought were only loss. There is wisdom coming from what hurt you, not to glorify the pain but to keep it from having the final word. There is tenderness growing in you that will one day make others feel safe simply because you learned what it means to be handled gently. My child, you do not have to force meaning out of every wound before it has even closed. For now, it is enough to know that I am here inside the unfinished places. When your thoughts race, I am not intimidated. When your hope flickers, I do not step back. When you feel spiritually tired, emotionally flat, or quietly disappointed, I do not withdraw my care. Beloved, I am not loving an ideal version of you. I am loving you right here, in the middle of what still hurts. That matters more than you realize. Because so much of your pain has come from feeling you must improve first, recover first, become easier first, before you can be fully welcomed. Dear one, come out of that bargain. You do not need to become less needy to be loved well. You do not need to hide the trembling to be held securely. You do not need to speak in grand language to be heard clearly. You do not need to understand everything to be safely guided. Sweet soul, I see you. Not only the surface, not only the things others admire. I see the hidden grief that made you quieter. I see the old disappointment that still stings when something new goes wrong. I see the effort it takes you to keep showing kindness when you feel depleted inside. And I see too, the goodness in you that pain has not erased. The care you still offer people. The honesty you still long for. The softness you keep trying to protect in a hard world. Loved one, do not call yourself broken just because you feel deeply. Do not condemn your heart for needing reassurance. Do not make an enemy of the part of you that longs for shelter. That longing is not an inconvenience to me. It is one of the ways you find your way back to what is true. My child, stay with me when your mind wants to wander into dread. Stay near when you begin predicting the worst ending before the story has even unfolded. Stay close when shame starts telling old lies in a familiar voice. You know the sound of those lies. They say you always ruin things. They say you are too much or not enough. They say you missed your chance. They say the best parts of life are reserved for someone stronger, cleaner, less tired than you. Beloved, those voices have borrowed authority they were never given. You do not have to bow to every thought that enters the room. Some thoughts are only echoes from old injuries. Some fears are only shadows cast by yesterday's pain. Some conclusions feel convincing simply because you are exhausted. So be gentle with what you believe when you are weary. Dear heart, fatigue can make falsehood feel wise. That is why I draw you back to quiet. not to punish your mind but to steady it, not to silence your questions, but to keep fear from answering them first. My dear one, there is no shame in needing to slow down enough to hear what is kind and what is merely loud. I am kind with you, deeply kind, more patient than your inner critic, more steady than the moods that rise and fall inside you. Loved one, you have been afraid that if you stop striving, everything will collapse. But some things are collapsing precisely because you were never meant to hold them all. Some weights must leave your shoulders for peace to return to your body. Some burdens have stayed too long because you thought carrying them proved your love, your maturity, your strength. But there is a holy wisdom in setting down what is crushing you. There is wisdom in admitting that your heart has limits. There is wisdom in choosing presence over pressure, honesty over image, small steady steps over desperate proving. Precious one, I am with you. Even here where answers are incomplete, even here where emotions are mixed, even here where part of you wants peace and another part does not know how to stop bracing. I am not frightened by your contradictions. You can be hopeful and tired, grateful and grieving, loving and overwhelmed, wanting healing and still afraid of what healing might ask you to release. Beloved, you do not need to sort every feeling perfectly before coming close. Bring the mess, bring the numbness, bring the scattered thoughts, bring the questions you keep editing before anyone hears them. Nothing honest in you makes me turn away. Dear heart, you have survived days you thought would undo you. You have made it through hours that felt endless. You have carried grief without words for it. You have continued through disappointment without much applause. Do not overlook the quiet courage that has brought you this far. Not the loud kind, not the kind that performs for a room. The hidden kind, the courage that gets up again, the courage that keeps a soft heart after being hurt, the courage that tells the truth about being tired instead of pretending to be invincible. My child, I treasure that courage in you, and now I want to give you what you have been denied for too long: permission to rest without guilt. Rest is not laziness, it is not quitting, it is not neglecting what matters. Sometimes rest is the most truthful thing you can do. It tells your body, you are not a tool. It tells your mind, you do not have to solve the whole future tonight. It tells your heart, you are allowed to be cared for too. Sweet soul, stop measuring your value by how depleted you are willing to become. Love does not require your destruction. Faithfulness does not require your disappearance. Goodness does not demand that you abandon your own humanity. Beloved, I want to teach you a gentler strength, the strength to pause before speaking against yourself, the strength to notice when fear is narrating your life too loudly, the strength to choose one honest step instead of collapsing under the weight of 10 imagined ones, the strength to stay near what quiets you, what nourishes you, what brings you back to truth. Dear one, there will be clarity for what needs clarity. There will be direction for what needs direction. There will be provision for what truly belongs in your hands. You do not need to wring certainty out of the dark. Some understanding arrives softly, like morning gathering at the edges before the whole sky knows it is changing. So do not despise the small light. Do not dismiss the little easing you feel right now. Do not call it nothing because it is quiet. Quiet help is still help. Small comfort is still comfort. A steadier heartbeat is not a trivial thing. A softened jaw, a slower thought, a loosening chest, these are not accidents. Loved one, peace often enters without spectacle. It settles little by little, until you realize you are no longer drowning in the same thought that was swallowing you an hour ago. That is how care works more often than you think. Not always by removing every hard thing at once, but by giving you enough steadiness to meet the moment without losing yourself in it. Dear child, this is for you, for the part of you that needs less noise and more nearness, for the part of you that has been trying to be brave without being comforted, for the part of you that is weary of holding back tears and holding up everyone else. You can rest here without pretending. You can be quiet here without being ignored. You can be held here without first explaining why you need it. Beloved, I am not in a hurry with your healing. I know that deep things often mend slowly. I know that trust can take time when life has felt unstable. I know that tenderness may feel unfamiliar if you have lived too long in survival mode. So I will not rush you. I will not shame you for having limits. I will not treat your fragile places like failures. I will tend them with care. Dear heart, when the night grows long again, remember this nearness. When your thoughts begin to scatter, come back to what was true here. You do not need a perfect memory of these words. You only need to remember that you are deeply known and gently kept. When you feel pressure to harden, choose softness where you can. When you feel pressure to perform, choose honesty where you can. When you feel pressure to carry everything, choose the next right ounce instead of the whole impossible load. Loved one, the world may teach you to abandon yourself in order to survive. I am teaching you another way. Stay near what is real. Stay near what is kind. Stay near what steadies your soul. Stay near me, not as a duty but as a homecoming, not as a test but as relief, not as one more thing to achieve but as the place where striving loosens and your heart is allowed to unclench. Precious one, you have not been forgotten. Your life is not off track because this season is tender. Your story is not ruined because you are tired. Your future is not empty because today felt heavy. There is more care around you than you can currently measure. There is more mercy holding you than your fear can imagine. There is more life ahead than this exhausted moment can properly interpret. So rest now, dear one, without needing to have everything resolved. Let the unanswered things be unanswered for tonight. Let the pressure leave the room. Let your soul sit down inside your body again. I will keep watch over what you cannot fix before morning. I will remain when the house is quiet, when the screen goes dark, when there is no one left to impress. My child, you do not have to reach far to find me near. I am close to your unspoken ache, close to your tired thoughts, close to the place in you that still hopes, even softly. So stay here a little longer, not because I demand it, but because your heart has been wandering thirsty and this is water. Not because you owe me a better version of yourself, but because love has made room for you exactly as you are. Beloved, night will not keep you forever. Weariness will not name you forever. This tender hour will not be wasted. And until your strength feels more like strength again, until your thoughts grow quieter, until peace becomes easier to recognize, I will be near in the stillness, steady as warmth left in the room after the fire settles. Rest, dear heart. You do not have to hold yourself all by yourself tonight. I remain here. Amen. Dear beloved family, today I want to speak to you openly and honestly from my heart. Recently, our Buy Me a Coffee account, the Christ Fellowship, was unexpectedly deactivated. We were informed that all contributions made by our supporters will be refunded back to them. This has been especially difficult because, as many of you know, our YouTube channel has already been demonetized for the past few months. That means we have not been receiving any earnings from the videos, even though we continue to invest time, effort, prayer, and production costs into creating meaningful God messages for you. There have been real challenges behind the scenes. Technical expenses, recording work, editing, and daily responsibilities, all while continuing this mission without financial support. It has not been easy. But here is what will not change. We will continue sharing God messages. We will continue praying for you. And we will continue this ministry with faith. To every person who tried to support us through Buy Me a Coffee, thank you. Even though the funds were refunded, your intention, your kindness, and your trust mean more than words can express. If anyone still feels led in their heart to support this ministry, we have now created a PayPal option. The details are available in the description. There is absolutely no pressure. God messages will always remain free for everyone. We believe that God sees every struggle and every sincere effort. and we trust that He will make a way forward. Thank you for standing with us.